Welcome back to the stage 2 of the Swiss Skate Tour. We are in Biel on the famous lap, the city track race. It's like a criterium, many corners on this lap. It's a 20 kilometers race in the downtown of the city. This year again we have great teams with especially the team Arena Geisingen, the team Chauvin Arnoux, and some Italian skater who race for Be Positive with the green skin suit. We are ready for the start of this race and let's go. The girls and the men start, the woman and the men start together, same start line, same time. It's a very active race, like we have about 100 skaters in this main peloton and 6 laps to go. It's a very nervous start always in this place because of so many corners. You have many acceleration to do, and especially in this part of the lap with a tricky roundabout. Skaters are very close and pushing a little bit each other in the corner, but it's part of the cool things in this race. The road also are quite narrow in some part, and which make it very difficult to attack and to build speed. There is one special moment also in this race. It's arriving now. It's this roundabout with all the skaters jumping over it to take a little shortcut. At the leading position for the moment we can see the team Chauvin Arnoux and the team Be Positive having one skater each making the speed. It's a very windy condition also this evening and dry at the moment. They plan some rain in this evening, but so far so good. It's still dry. Most of the skaters start with dry wheels choice, so it's only normally a little more than 30 minutes race for this 20 kilometers, and we can see that with the black skin suit on the right part of the road the team Chauvin Arnoux is already compact and skating together, and just behind on the right part of the road we have the team Arena Geisingen coming back in front. Some spectators crossing the road just last moment, a little bit dangerous, so we have to be careful also in this lap. It's a city lap, there are protection, but still you can see some people crossing the road sometimes and don't realize how fast the skater can be. This part of the lap is the most narrow part. It's very hard to pass actually. It's not allowed to go normally on the left part of the road here, and so the skater have to be kind of in one line. It's possible to be on two lines, but it's super difficult. It's super difficult to come back and take good position, but it's really helping a lot for the draft. We also have this team with the red and black skin suit, the Rolling Rock team, and they are also skating for rollerblade. The number 41 is Fabio Francoli, and in the leading position we have team Arena Geisingen with I think Livio Wenger or some of his teammates. The road quality is very good. It makes the road quite fast. Was about 40 kilometers average normally in this lap. It's more than 20 years that we have this race. Before it was one of the famous stage from the Swiss Inline Cup. Now it's called the Swiss Skate Tour, and the race is still super attractive. Many skaters from all Europe are coming here, and also one skater from Kenya is in the pack. We arrive in the very difficult corner actually. So everybody's trying to get a good position at this moment because there is a risk of crash. It's a 180-degree corner this part, so the skater help each other by giving sign, but we arrive really fast in this corner. It's a bit slippery. It's good to destroy the wheels and a good acceleration out of the corner, so you have to be careful. Always race in good positions, take only your top 10 to make sure you're good. And first attack from number 41 from Italy leading the race, but not like a really big attack. You just make a little test. Liviu is attacking again, try to make the speed of the race a little faster. And already almost one skater of each team in the front part of the race. Maybe there is some little gap behind in the group, so this acceleration is done at the good moment. After this straight line we will arrive in a part of the lap that is a little technical, with some right corner with little cobblestones too, and it's quite an interesting lap. You have to be very technical to be good. One attack on the right part of the road with skater from Team Arno and Team Arena Geisingen. Not easy, as you can see, to build some speed in this place, but the attack seems to be good. The speed is going way faster, and we arrive back in the main center of the city. The road will become a little bit wider again. Little jump moment here before getting on the cobblestone. It's the little bit like Paris-Roubaix, but way more smooth, of course, for the skater, but very technical part with lot of little danger on the road, with some stick on the side. All the city center are made like this now, so skater have to be very careful. And the speed is going down again now. All the group is together, and we almost complete one lap. This is the last corner for the last straight line, so we already done one lap. It will be soon just 5 laps to go. Skater from Rolling Rock coming back to the front, followed by skater from Arena Geisingen. We have 3 main teams here in this race, and the most complete team is the Team Arena Geisingen, which make it quite easy for them to control the race in this first lap. So that was a quite fast first lap, but now the speed is like a little easier. Everybody's trying to measure if it's a good day to attack or not. Fabio Francolini coming back on the right part with his teammate, maybe Gabriele Galli. And once again the first roundabout here with this special corner. Hopefully it's dry this year. Last year was very difficult condition, it was wet, almost like a storm, and this city race are very difficult in the rain then, because there is kind of some oil on the track, on the road, so it make it very slippery. With the black and white ski suit you see a skater from Team Brianza on the right part of the road. Everybody's trying to get again good positions, trying to stay in the top 5 is quite good. And we have one attack in front. I think it's a skater from Team Arno and a skater from Team Arena Geisingen. So the speed is around 45 kilometers an hour at this moment. All the corners make it easy to accelerate, so it's not so difficult in the pack still to come back on the first breakaways. Soon we arrive again on the little bridge. It's a 90-degree left corner, and again some people crossing last moment. That was dangerous. Again, people are really not used in the city to see the skater riding so fast. And you see the speed is really high because skater have to use the arms at this moment, so it means it's already a very high speed. And the peloton is back in the together again. The 2 breakaway guys are back in the peloton, and we see skater from Colombia coming back on the left part of the road, getting again near his teammate. Yeah, when the pack slow down like this, it's a good moment to come back as a team and race again together, like the Be Positive skater are doing now. The Team Arena Geisingen is going again together. It's also a good moment to get back to a good position during the race. And you see Fabio Francolini is in the middle of his team. In front, I think we have a skater from Team Chauvin Arnoux controlling the speed. And so let's ask Team Seabet how we feel about this race.
I saw Fabio Francolini is going to be here, Gali, Livio, the whole team of Arena guys singing, and of course my two friends here, so it's going to be interesting.
Yeah, so Team Seabet was telling, he was looking especially after Livio Wenger and also after Gabriele Gali, so it will be interesting to see if he read good this race. Once again we arrive for the second time actually in the small corner. It's very small. Already the road is quite narrow, but this corner is very difficult to take. When it was wet last year it was super slippery. We almost had to go on the sidewalk to make the road a bit wider to turn correctly. But this year is different story. It's a much faster race and the pack can stay easily together. Team Rolling Rocks cruising in the middle of the pack at the moment. It's quite easy, but the speed is quite slow at the moment. The skaters are just trying to come back. It's not very easy to attack. There it's too narrow to build some good speed for a good attack. And still we are far from the finish. It's a small, it's a short race. I mean only 20 kilometers. It always have been quite short in Biel compared to the other race. Normally the race are more like 42 kilometers. But this one has always been more like a critérium and skater. I think it's Team Seabet who is making a strong attack again in the front. Skater from B Positive trying to react. Very hard to build speed there. Another skater from Power Slide get back in position. So I think we have now three skaters who break away in a breakaway, but the pack start to react, building speed just before entering in the downtown city part. Ready to jump on the cobblestone. Very small section actually, but can make a difference. If you're not technical enough, it's quite difficult with all these corners and very different kind of pavement on this part of the road. So if you skate on the left or on the right part, it's different running. Last corner again, and we already make 2 laps out of 6. The pack is still together. Nobody could break away so far. And it seems like the team Arena Geisingen, they have enough skater and they have enough sprinter to make a final pack sprint. I think if that could be almost the best tactic for them to arrive together and make a nice train in the last kilometers. They have amazing fast skater from Colombia, good sprinters from New Zealand also with Josh White. So maybe the tactic is to control the race. Oh, little almost crash with Fabio Francolini and the skater from Power Slide. They just hit the skate. A little bit surprising at this part of the race where we're going slow. Before again this tricky roundabout, but the speed is quite low now. Just a little acceleration out of the corner, but nothing serious, nothing ready to create a breakaway probably. The jumping roundabout. And in this course, like 20 years ago, the finish line was in a different place. Actually, this was the last corner, and then the finish line was here in this part. But it was a very long time ago, and it was very technical because you had the finish line like maybe 70 meters after the last corner, so it was a big fight to get into this last corner. So now they change it to the other place, and it's actually much better. There is about 150-200 meters for the last straight line, so it makes it more possibility to pass and a little bit less dangerous for the skater, because when you had 100 skater arriving in this last corner in the past, that was a bit dangerous sometimes. Even if most of those skaters are professional, still it's better to limit the risk for the skater. As you can see, just one line, everybody's taking as much draft as possible. It doesn't seem so hard in this moment. We are not even yet in half of the race, and nobody tried to make serious attacks so far. Then we had just few acceleration. It was a little bit like a test to see if it was easy or not to break away, and it seems like it's not an easy day for a breakaway, but not so many skaters could follow this group. Maybe 20 skaters left in this pack at the moment. We've lost a lot of skaters especially I think in the roundabout part, or in the little Copperstone part, or maybe in this after the acceleration after the 180 degrees corner. The skater, I think from Team Marina Geisinger, are getting back to the leading position. They already jump in every little group or little people who try to accelerate. They put one skater with them. Maybe they want to do a bunch sprint today for this race. Sprinters from Colombia putting the hand on the legs just before this corner. It's not so easy. When we arrive about 45-50 kilometers an hour in this corner, not so easy to lose the speed on the skates. Tricky turn for Fabio Francolini here, and little gap here from the skater from the team Rolling Rock, but quite easy to come back. Nobody really want to go fast at this moment of the race. We still have one girl also in this group that she could follow, so she's actually for sure leading in the woman race. Marie Ketum, Fabio Francolini with the green and black skin suit, followed by another Italian from Team Brianza. And CBC skater, they don't have so much space to come back on the side of the road. It's very narrow when the pack is skating in the middle like this, but it's always like little game, little funny to be able to come back in front position from a very narrow space. Not going super fast in this moment of the race, so maybe some more skater will come back on this group. It was only I think 20 skater in the group at the moment, just before finishing this third lap. We are very soon about half of the race. You see different, almost nobody left at the end of the pack here. Yes, about 20 skaters for sure in this group. Already some other skaters get past. You can see they get lapped already. Very big difference of speed between some professional skater and the other in this race, and the speed is going up a bit now after the middle of the race. Many skaters, sometimes they try to save energy in the first half and do a negative split tactic with some attack in the second half. But it seems Team Arena don't let anybody go away at the moment. The pack is quite compact. 3 laps to go. Yeah, you see maybe 5-6 skater could come back on the group in this moment of the race because the speed is not so high. Just maybe around the 40 kilometers average at the moment. You can find a skater from many countries here, from Kenya, Colombia, New Zealand, Belgium, Italy, France, Switzerland also. It's quite an international pack at this moment. And still no breakaway. The fun part of the track, jumping on the roundabout. You have to always be careful in this moment and look quite in front, because you never know if one skater make a mistake. You have to be ready to jump over or find another way not to crash. And the speed seems to go a little faster at the moment. The pack is really in line, you see some little gap. Skater can keep the hand in the back for the aerodynamic and to save energy, but you see the speed is going a little higher at the moment. Slowing down a little bit, it's a good opportunity to get some free position, let's say. And here attack from Marika Tum, actually. Maybe she could feel some other girl were coming back, so she wants the speed go higher even for the men's group. And one skater from Bolingbroke is a little bit in trouble. He has a little difficulty to follow this, and then some other skater react very soon, because it's not a good moment to let some gap in the pack. It should be nervous for some breakaway very soon. A little in front we can see also Fabio Francolini, the skater from Italy. He got just back on the skate not long ago at the Italian Championship. He got 3rd place. Very surprising, very nice to see him come back. He was world champion a few years ago, and before the race I asked him how we feel about today.
It's really nice, especially in a field where I skate many times, and it feels great. I still have to meet the best skaters here, Livio, the other guys from Arena, and I hope to enjoy this race again. It takes time to have the shape, but I will enjoy.
It's very nice to see Fabio back in the pack after so many years. He also skated a bit on the ice, but now it's always a pleasure to have him on the skate. He's super technical. He has a lot of agility and a very good skills for the tactic. Maybe not yet in his best shape, but already quite good. But maybe some guys are stronger today. But if it's a bench sprint, maybe he has a good chance, because he knows exactly what position to take and how to draft good in the last sprint. We passed more than half of the race now, still about the same situation. Nothing is changing a lot. It looks like it could be bench sprint. We see a few guys try to accelerate in the front, especially guy from Chauvin Arnaud. They don't want to wait for a sprint apparently, and also a guy from Rolling Rock team. So yeah, it seems like out of this corner they make acceleration, and the speed is very different now. One skater from Team Brianza a little bit in trouble. It's very difficult for him at the moment to follow. Nothing to worry so much, but when you see a gap like this and he put his hand back in the back, you have to pass, because the gap will be bigger. That means he is tired. He almost make a little sign for passing. In front, everybody seems like to be full speed at the moment. It's maybe the fastest part of the race so far. And see some skater already in trouble at the back of the pack. There is not really so much a pack anymore. We lost many skater in this long straight line. The speed was totally full. The skater look also very tired at the end of the legs, show that they already put a lot of effort. Ooh, some skater jumping on the left part of the road. That's quite dangerous, but it's one way to pass when you're in Béal on this city lap. And how many skaters left now? What's the situation? It seems the pack is still together again. The moto is just in front, 100 meters in front of the pack, so that means nobody could break away, but many skaters show some sign that they start to be tired. The legs probably start to be heavy, as you can see from the skater from B Positive. Many times he keeps his hand on his legs. It's not a very good sign. It's not the best for the technique, but he put already a lot of effort, probably, or to bring back his leader Fabio Francolini, or to just to follow this group. One more acceleration. Some serious things start to happen now with a lot of change of speed. We go from fast to slow. It's typical from skating, and that's why inline skater most of the time they train a lot of intervals, because at this moment it's going quite fast. We also have to be careful when the pack we pass some other skater now, because the delta of speed is quite big. So if you don't look really good in front, it can be close sometime to hit some other skater. But it's an interval moment of the race. We go fast, slow, fast, slow. You see here almost going back to only something like 30 kilometers an hour, but still enough to brake before the turn. Little acceleration out of the corners, but yes, nobody want to take some responsibility at the moment. Skater from Chauvin Arnoux leading the pack, followed very close by skater from Arena Geisingen. And another attack from one skater from Rolling Rock and from Chauvin Arnoux. Yeah, of course, those skaters, they have little less sprint skills, so they want to break away. They want to go away from the pack, and it's a good moment. There will be almost little less than 3 laps to go. So skaters start to be tired. It's a good moment to attack, but to make a good attack in this kind of race, it's very hard, because you have to go close to the 45-50 kilometers an hour to be able to break away. So it's very high speed to maintain for about 7-8k more. And before being able to do this, you have to discourage the skater from Arena Geisingen by doing a lot of intervals. And this is what's happening now. You see the race is slowing down again. The skater from Brianza is coming back. And you see a bit of rain also. It makes the skater nervous, because nobody really have some rain wheels at the moment. So if it starts to rain, it's going to be a total different race. It's going to be super technical. Nobody will have a grip on this road, especially in the corners, especially on the yellow or white sign on the road. And one more acceleration in front of the pack, again skater from Chauvin Arnoux making the attack. Some more skaters start to drop, and the rain is a danger. So when it's raining, start to rain, it's very important to try to be in front of the pack, because if there is some gap, even 5 seconds will start to be an important gap. And you can see one skater in front with a little gap. Livio Wenger make correction and bring back his teams maybe. And yeah, it's getting nervous. You see more and more skater trying to go away. Yeah, it was an attack from Gabriele Galli, number 41. He make a little gap. We could see very not so easy, but he's like 5 seconds in front at the moment. We will be able to measure exactly the gap out of the U-turn, out after this straight line. But yes, the motorbike is quite far in front. That means we had one gap. We also saw I think 2 skaters trying to react to this, and we have 2-3 small group of 2-3 skater. We arrive in the U-turn, and you can see we have one guy in breakaway. It's Gabriele Galli, followed by just the pack, but he's still 5 seconds in front, 7 seconds in front now. Not such a big gap, but as it starts to rain, it can be dangerous. And the gap was 5 seconds before, now it's 7. So that means he's going faster than the pack. And you see 2 skaters actually break away again, trying to come back. Tim Sibiet and Livio Wenger. And yeah, they already have about now we have 3 skaters in front with about 50 meters, 6-7 seconds in front of the pack. And the rest of the peloton seems to give up. It's not going that fast at the moment, so it's maybe it's gonna be a breakaway. Yeah, nobody wants to lead anymore. There is the sprinter from Geisingen, Arena Geisingen. Seems to be tired also. Just trying to react a little bit with one skater from Rolling Rock, but yeah, the speed is quite low at the moment. It's not fast enough, I mean, to be able to come back on the breakaway. Even if maybe with the turn in the downtown part, maybe it's easier to build some speed to come back. A little bit slippery, you can see it's not really wet, just a few drops on the ground, and it make it slippery in some part of the road, especially when you see the white line or the yellow line on the ground. All those signs, they are super slippery as soon as there is a little drop of water on it. And the gap is growing at the moment, about 10 seconds now, and it's something like 100 to 120 meters. And we are not so far from the finish. And it's actually the last lap. The bell for the last lap, it's 1 lap to go. And the gap is 12 seconds now, so it's not gonna be easy to come back 12 seconds with a 12-second gap in the last lap, but it seems some skaters are still motivated to try to reduce the gap. Probably skater from the team Rolling Rock with black and red skin suit. They still have, I think, 3 skaters in this, we will call it peloton because I think it's the biggest group left. Maybe some other group behind, but 2, 4, 6, 8, 10 skaters in this group at the moment. 3 skaters are in the breakaway. Livio, Gabriele Galli and Tim Sibiet. And we are in the last lap. And the speed is still going good. It's not like the group didn't give up to come back on the guys. Also, we can still see them in front at the end of each corner like this. We can see a little bit the motorbike and the 3 skater in front, so it's still possible to come back, especially in the last kilometers. If they slow down a bit, if they prepare the sprint, it's very possible that the pack is coming back, especially when it's only 12 seconds. It's not so easy with the turn to come back and the narrow streets, but it's possible. 40 seconds gap about at this moment. So even if we are going fast in the pack, it's still not enough speed compared to the 3 guys who break away. We don't feel any rain anymore on the race now. It's important to finish before it's raining completely now, but it's just a few more minutes to go. The 2 big straight line now with the U-turn at the end here. Also with a gap of 14 seconds, they can lose a lot of time in the U-turn. I mean, always a group of 10 skaters like this, they have an advantage. They can brake little later and it's quite easy to come back for 3-4 seconds just in the U-turn. But also Livio is quite in shape. He won the first stage of the Swiss Skate Tour. In the first stage was actually in Liechtenstein a few weeks ago. He won this first stage, even if most of the top skaters they were racing the World Inline Cup in Dijon the same day. It's still a good victory for Livio, which is mainly training for the ice season, and he's just used the inline to keep in shape, I think. It's also good to show the colors of the sponsor. And the Swiss Inline Cup is still one of the good series to race. It was super famous 15-20 years ago. It was the biggest series in the world. It went a bit down, but it seems more and more skaters are coming back. And it's interesting. And this year, this race, we just crossed the 3 skater gap. So you can see the gap, it's about still 14 seconds. Livio was leading. So even if he could maybe not be the fastest, he's just probably happy in this breakaway, and probably know if the sprinter Gabriele Galli maybe is a bit tired. So he seems he's happy with this situation. And the gap just grow a little bit more, 16 seconds now. Now it's gonna be almost impossible to come back, especially if Livio is leading in front. We are a little more than 1k to the finish. And you see, with the technique, the skater have less and less body weight transfer to the side compared to the beginning of the race. It's less nervous, it's just going one speed, regular speed, and harder and harder to follow the same step, which means more and more skaters are tired in this group. But still you have to be focused for the last sprint. We will have a little sprint in this group. And we arrive again in the little cobblestone part where we have to jump a little step to get in this part. And a few more corners, one right corner dry floor, so it's okay. Then just 2 more corners on the left, and then it's gonna be the finish line for this group. We still have 3 guys in front, leading with 16 seconds. Last corner coming for the pack sprint now. And the finish line coming here. Quite cool race, quite fast race. Again, a victory from Livio, second Gabriele Galli, third place Team Sibiet. One more cool race with the Swiss Skate Tour.
It was a little bit technical. I didn't feel so good from the start because I'm in a really hard training mode for the World Championships. So I wanted to feel the race a little bit. Obviously didn't know how good Fabio is. He's one of his first road races back, and the Swiss guys are always really strong. And it was actually really cool racing with so many teams. And then it was actually nice. One of each team, other than Rollerblade, was actually in the breakaway, and I just maintained a high speed. I tried to go 80-90% like I do in training, and then I just kept and controlled, and in the sprint I was managing to